Do some more manly horfing. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Man Up to Cancer podcast. I have a pretty awesome guest that I am excited to introduce you to. We've been, doing phone tag with being on each other's podcasts for several years now, and I finally have tracked him down in the wild. Uh, you're going to meet Daniel Garza today. Daniel Garza is an anal cancer and HIV survivor whose lived experience fuels his mission to uplift and educate others. As the founder of LilMesican Productions Inc, he'll say it better than this white dude from Maine. But Daniel creates spaces for storytelling, coaching, and advocacy, especially for Latinx, LGBTQIA2S, and health challenged communities. His work with Cheeky Charity raises awareness of anal and colorectal cancer, and his background as a Reiki Master, transpersonal coach, and comedian allows him to blend healing and humor in transformative ways. Through workshops, public speaking, and creative media, Daniel inspires others to reclaim their dignity, embrace their power, and live with purpose. And I dare you people to write a better intro about yourself in so little space, because this guy, the number of skills and talents he has, like, I don't even think we're scratching the surface here. But we're going to focus a little on comedy today. Comedy as healing, comedy as coping with what, the shit show you go through in your life. And this guy's had some thrown at him. So, Daniel, welcome to the podcast.
Hello, sir. That bio sounds so much better when a white guy reads it out. I'm gonna
Here
have you
he's going
record that
already.
for me. I'm gonna have you record that for me, and every time I walk in the room, I'm gonna play it ahead just so
You,
people know,
you
man.
should. And in fact, I can even give you, like, that was like the straight up white dude version. I could give you the newscaster version, which would sound a little bit more like Daniel inspires others to reclaim their dignity, embrace their power, and live with
Now,
purpose. There you
now
go.
tell me if that line kicks ass. Like that line,
Dude.
like like
But
self, like
the,
the amount of ego and self confidence that you have to send that as your bio. I'm telling you, Mexican macho right here.
Yeah, dude. I mean, and if I didn't know you, I might be calling bullshit on that. I'd be like, who the hell is this guy? But because I know you, I can assure everyone listening to the show, this guy is legit.
Well, thank
I
you. I
mean, he is
appreciate it.
legit across the board, like scary legit. So we're going to dive into it. We are going to go a lot into your history today. We're going to talk about multiple parts of your life and your journey, but I want to start at a specific spot in time. Let's
Sure.
start at the Gathering of Wolves, Man Up to Cancer's annual retreat, September 2025. You get up in front of 150 plus dudes going through cancer, and you deliver one of the funniest comedy sets that anyone has ever seen. Like, let's start there. What is it like to be able to do that, first of all?
Uh, well, first of all, thank you so much for having me on the show. And for anybody
Yeah, man.
listening, I'm recording this from my car in a parking lot. Long story, and we'll share that later. But um, first, a big hello to all of the guys from Men Up to Cancer that were there at the Gathering of the Wolves.
Yes.
And everybody who put up with my comedy. So, what does it take?
Yeah.
Um, it takes like ever since I was a kid, I was that kid. I had no filter. I would say pretty much what was on my mind, and it usually came out in a funny way. My boyfriend says that is like, you're lucky, you're so adorable that you get away with saying things that most people would not even think. And uh, I mean, you know the story, but the short version is
Yeah.
2024. We're in this really heartfelt moment, throwing our fears into the fire. We wrote this.
Mm.
I didn't throw an actual person in the fire. Just so people y'all think. Um, we wrote down our fears, and we threw them in the fire, and then we said a couple of words of why we were doing this. And for the life of me, I can't remember who went before me,
Mm.
but they were talking about stage 4 and how they might not be back next year, and then it was me. So I purposely thought, I am not going to make a joke. For anybody that's listening, I'm an anal cancer survivor. So anal cancer, I've said it 100 times, it gives you permission to make all the butt jokes you want,
Hell
and
yeah.
nobody can stop you.
No.
But on this occasion, I was like, you got to be serious because this guy just poured his heart.
So
But
this
it
is a
didn't work
yeah,
out that
this is a fine line that we're gonna get into, right? Like that like what you do right is so healing and so awesome with the comedy piece, but like yeah, I can even when you're talking about it, I can see you like thinking like man, it's like real-time editing. Like okay, am I because I have a really
yeah.
good joke right now, but that guy just like really went deep and serious. Like do I hold off on this one?
I was like, dude, like I know your story is sad, but you just completely killed all my jokes. Like, what am I supposed to do now? But so I start the first couple of minutes really cool. Like, this is what I'm leaving my fears. And then all of a sudden I say, ain't no cancer. And it's like the little devil on my shoulder goes, we're doing a butt joke, right? And the little angel on my other shoulder was like, I'm out of here. Like I'm not even going to get into this one. So
Oh.
I proceed to go on like a 10-minute stand-up skit about anal cancer and butt jokes. Okay, so
Oh,
that's
wait,
last year.
I gotta interrupt just to give some context. So Daniel's talking about the 2024 Gathering of Wolves retreat for the members of Man to Cancer is when you met us in person, and we'll get
Right.
yeah, and that so there's so much to say, right? But I'm gonna let you tell it. But that was your introduction. So you're talking about this like it can be this very we're sitting around the fire sharing like our deepest feelings and thoughts, and we had like the fuck it fire where it's like here's something in my life that I'm going to write down this piece of paper. I'm going to drop it in the fire because I want to let go of it. And so he's given the setup. So that was 2024. And after this whole experience, that's when everyone like right away was like, you're coming back in 25 and you're doing a full set.
Well, and of course, we're sitting around, and it doesn't help that people are laughing at everything I'm saying. And there's certain a group of you, Trevor, that have a very distinctive laugh. And the more my devil heard it, he was like,
Oh,
dude,
I'm
you
yeah,
gotta keep
roll with
going.
it.
You gotta keep going. Okay, so fast forward a year later, and I've been invited to come and do, and there was no time limit. I just set 10 minutes as my time. And I don't know if I told you the story. I changed my set twice before I landed on what I did. I had one set that I already had at home. I went through it, didn't like it, did a second one, didn't like it. 2 hours before I'm supposed to go on. Now, this is also before
Oh, wow.
a bonfire. This is after the bonfire, after all the cancer guys with guitars who learn how to play in one day. Like, who do you follow that? And this is like, so it's my turn. So 2 hours before, I called Christian, my partner, and I'm like, hey, how about if I do this instead? So in 5 minutes, I run through the set, and I'm like, what do you think? And he's like, if there's anywhere that you can get away with making fun of cancer, is there. He's like, you got to do it. So, and plus, it's on YouTube, so you can go to my YouTube page and listen to it. But basically, I went through the 4 stages of cancer and made fun of everybody in one shot.
Uh, this is so cool for me to hear because like the retreat is so crazy and I didn't really I haven't heard all this like because you come up there with such confident like first of all your spirit is just undeniable, right? It's like everyone loves Daniel. He has this spirit that's undeniable, but he comes up and like he does not look like someone who's like behind the scenes freaking out being like oh god what am I going to do and like oh this sucks I'm moving on to my next material like the like we don't see all that because we just see this guy who gets up there and just freaking kills like just kills.
Thank you. Thank you. And there were some jokes that I left out. And for everybody, mainly the reason I stopped because my mouth got really dry and I had to stop. But um, I, even when I got in front of all the guys, well, first of all, it was a huge honor to be asked to even do that. Uh, I think the first time that there was a comedy in
Yes,
front of the
oh yeah,
guys,
yeah,
and second, it's a big responsibility that there are guys there who I mean, just in this year, we've lost
yeah,
several guys, and we knew I think that's one of the hardest parts about Gathering the Wolves is that we know that some of these guys are not coming back next year.
Yeah.
And and for me to make fun of stage 4 terminal guys,
Oh,
knowing that knowing that like hopefully, I don't know,
yeah. But
it sounds so morbid, but that they're going to remember this moment.
those guys were the ones that are laughing the hardest because that's the thing that I think there's assumption by the cancer muggles out there that first of all that when you're going through cancer, even when you're dying from it, that you don't have right, you shouldn't be experiencing joy or humor or laughter or that kind of stuff. And I think what you'll find about our group and what Daniel knows now is like we crave that. We crave that humor, we crave that laughter, we crave that joy because it is heavy, right? So,
Yeah.
and I think more than any other group I've ever been a part of, like this group, our community loves a good cancer joke and we can laugh at that and like crack up because right like you don't have a choice of getting cancer but you sure have a choice if you can have some humor along the way and it's people like you that do that. So what I wrote down is like a setup for this next question is it's a perfect segue is that at this retreat there's so many fun parts, right? We had like tethered hot air balloon rides, we had axe throwing, swimming, archery, zip lining, like all this fun stuff, and there's all this camaraderie and fun stuff, but then like you said there are it's as deep as it goes emotionally. So we're sharing our stories in this sacred space around the campfire. We are remembering the brothers we've lost. And like you said, we are also walking guys home, like Brandon Martin, who died, soon after the retreat. Others who died soon after the retreat, like, and they knew that. They got up there and they talked about that. Um, so I guess what I'm saying is like, talk to us about how comedy and why comedy can be so healing in this setting where it can get
Yeah.
as deep as it gets.
Well, as you mentioned in the bio, I'm a Reiki master. I work a lot with energy, and I very much believe in the balances of energy. There has to be the good and bad, the life and death, the beginnings and endings.
Hmm.
I told you a little story before we started recording, and I have to find that balance in order to be able to walk through. It's like walking a tightrope every day. And if you ever seen a tightrope uh, person, um, they have to walk that balance in order to get to the other end.
Yep.
And I believe in life, we have to do that. And yes, I've had my moments of, I hate this life, I'm sad. Um, there were times during my journey with cancer that I didn't want to be here anymore.
Yeah.
And at a place like the Gathering of the Wolves, where there is a lot of that heavy energy, there has to be
Hmm.
somebody balancing it. And I I say this humbly, and God knows, and the universe is there. I've taken this job of being the light side of a cancer journey. And there's several of us there. It's not just me. Just for the record, guys. It's not just
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. You're not the
It's
only.
not me against 150 guys. That sounds like a porn movie, which I've seen. But it's um, damn it. See what I mean? Like I can't go with the sentence.
Oh,
Um,
I love it. I
but
love it.
but so there's a group of us that have made this decision to go. Yes, I have a tragic story, but I'm gonna let somebody else tell that story. I'm gonna make it light. I'm gonna bring in the joy. If this is the last time that my brother will be here at the gathering, I want him to remember the fun times too. That's why I made fun of the axe throwing, and I made fun of the zip lining, and I made fun of the hot air balloon. I mean, I make fun of every moment that we could possibly make fun of.
So did you know enough about our community and our guys to trust that you could really go there? I mean, it sounds like maybe you pulled a couple punches, but most of them you landed, right? Did you already know at that point that you were going to get the response that you got, which was like wild, like you need to come back like every year?
So from this year, yes and no. Yes, because I'm an observer. Okay. So side story, I always feel like I'm out of place.
Right.
I never feel like I belong. Um, just my old upbringing and the way I think about myself. I never think that I'm that funny. I never think that I'm that popular, and I don't think people want to talk to me.
No,
So
no matter how many times we tell you the opposite, right?
no matter how many times I go sit by myself at a table, and there comes all these
Yeah.
needy, cancerous people to sit with me. It's like, Jesus Christ, I don't want to sit with sick people. And but having that personality has allowed me to sit and observe guys. So by the time I come up to you and say hi, I probably already observed you and I have enough material to roast you. Okay, that said, um,
Yes.
this year I was very observant because I knew my instructions were make fun of the guys, and it was particularly make fun of certain people, but
Yes.
I didn't want to point at people, and I did a little bit. I only did Guy because he was just hilarious,
Yeah.
and but having the opportunity to observe everybody and being liked enough to let people let me sit with them was what gave me the material. So I didn't know how they would take it, but I knew some of the morbid people in the group would laugh.
Oh yeah.
At least my roommates this year, they knew what I was going to do a little bit, so they were ready for it.
Well, I mean, the whole camp was there and you didn't get one complaint. In fact, you got a standing O more than anybody else. So we can move on though. So put us in the Wayback Machine and tell us about Daniel G. Garza as a child. Where did you grow up? What were you like back then?
So picture it, small village in Mexico. Now, I was born in Mexico. I was born in Monterrey, Mexico. We moved to Texas when I was 3. My dad's Texan, my mom's Mexican. So my joke has always been that I'm an original Tex-Mex, and and just as cheesy. And as a little kid, I was the volunteer kid. I remember being in kindergarten and they're coming to ask for volunteers for dancing at Cinco de Mayo, which is ironic because my diagnosis was on Cinco de Mayo. Uh, so
Can't make that stuff up, folks.
you can't, I mean, the universe knew what it was doing. But ever since I was like 6 years old, I've always been the volunteer kid. I've always wanted to fit in. And volunteering was my way to get into things.
Yeah.
I came out when I was 17. I was outed. So my parents found out through
Oh
somebody
wow.
else. And it was a hard couple of years. I got into drugs when I was 20 and was in drugs and heavy into alcohol till I was 36.
Wow.
I I went to rehab for 3 months, Bay Area Recovery Center in Dickinson, Texas. Will forever be one of my favorite places. Um, June 21st, 2007 is my birthday. And it's the year that I grew up. It's the year that I became a man. And then uh, backwards a little bit, September of 2000, I was diagnosed with AIDS. So I've been living with HIV for 25 years.
What's your birth year?
1970,
So
December,
1970.
yeah, December 26, 1970. So 10 days from today's recording, I'll be 55.
So 1970 to 19. So you were outed, not by your own choice, around 1987 ish. If you were
It was, yeah,
17.
it was Thanksgiving. So cliche. It was Thanksgiving weekend in Mexico of 1988 when I was outed.
1988. Okay.
Yeah.
And then you said you had this like struggle, and I put down these dates here, like about 15 years ish, so like 1988 to when did you say your like birthday was that you got that really started your life again?
Yeah. So June 21st, 2007 is my AA birthday. I really believe that that's when I became a man. I was 36 years old.
Okay, I'm
Uh,
getting my timeline down, right? And so take me back again. In 2000 you get diagnosed with what?
so in September of 2000, I'm diagnosed with AIDS. So I've been living with HIV for 25 years. Um, June of 2007, I get sober. Um, May of 2015, I'm diagnosed with cancer. April of 2016, I have my ostomy surgery. Um, August of 2018 is when I'm diagnosed with health-related PTSD and agoraphobia. I collect them. I like collecting diagnoses. I want to be
Wow,
sick.
dude.
I want to be with all the cool kids.
So yeah, man. I mean, and I feel like we could spend probably an hour digging into all of those milestones. Um, Today, I do want to focus more on kind of the comedy side, and then the mask, like the man behind the mask. You also gave me some great bullet points I want to hit on. So let's just go over. So for your cancer,
Yeah.
um, you said that was May 2015 was your anal
Yeah.
cancer diagnosis?
Yeah. So part of the joke is that I'm so Mexican. I was diagnosed on May 5th, Cinco de Mayo. And not a good year. I was 3 years into my relationship with my boyfriend. Our anniversary is May 9th, and I'm diagnosed on May 5th. So we were about to celebrate our third anniversary. Um, True story. We were in the car going home, and I said, if you want to leave, this is the moment. Like, if you want to break up with me,
Here's the
go.
out. Yeah, here's the out.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm like, because if you leave while I'm in treatment, I'm like, you're gonna be the dick that left his boyfriend when he was going through cancer. I'm like, right now, I'm giving you an out. And he stuck around. He was my caregiver, and um, I owe part of me being here today to him. Don't let him know because it'll go to his head. And it took me a long time to train him,
Yeah, we're not going to
but
share this podcast with him, so he'll be excluded.
I don't want him to get like all big headed or anything. And as a gay man, that's something that I like to say. But um, let's get him big headed. It was a hard time, but I was already a Reiki master. No, I'm sorry, no, I wasn't. I was already practicing energy when I was diagnosed, and I very much believed that there was a reason God and the universe had put me on this path. When I was diagnosed with AIDS, it took me like 6 months to become a vocal advocate for people living with HIV. And the day I was diagnosed, I got home and started my video diary in English and Spanish. I did a video diary for 30 days to talk about my journey in being diagnosed and treatment. People saw me with my hair buzzed, bald. Um, but it was one of those moments like God and the universe, like, dude, we walked you through HIV. Let us walk you through cancer and give your life this purpose. And I did, and in a funny way, but I did it. I mean, obviously, I did it my way.
Yeah, I mean, so you've been living, so cancer was over 10 years ago. You got your diagnosis. What have you gone through, like, on the physical side of it in terms of treatments? Like, what has been your road? What does your road look like for the treatment?
So treatment, we had 38 rounds of radiation. We had the 2 weeks of chemo. I had the little pump. For anybody that knows, if you know the pump, you know the pump.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
with the
our
metal
buddy.
portacat.
That's our little buddy.
Yeah, with the portacat. I still have the scar from my portacat, which I want to make, and I want a tattoo. So if anybody wants to give me a tattoo, yeah, I want a tattoo that with the shark taking a bite out of where the portacat is. So that's my dream
All
of a
right, all
tattoo.
right, all right.
Um, and then we did um, hyperbaric chamber treatment. We did 40 rounds of that, which is really what I think how my hair grew back so nice, was because we did the hyperbaric chamber treatment. So that was it.
And you didn't have any surgeries?
No, well, we had the ostomy surgery, but after the cancer.
Okay.
I finished treatment in like August, and it took me from there to March. I was in diapers all that time to finally make the decision to go for the ostomy surgery. I didn't want it. I
Yeah.
didn't want it.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And what was your team, like your medical team, telling you at the time about your prognosis? Was it along the lines of, we're going to treat this, you're going to be fine, or oh shit, like this might not go our way?
Yeah, so the cancer was right on the sphincter, and the hope was that it would reduce enough that it wouldn't damage the sphincter. But by the time we were done, half of my sphincter was gone, which is
Yeah.
why I ended up in diapers.
Yeah.
Which I don't recommend diapers. I mean, you can't jump on those tables at the airport because they don't hold an adult, which is really sucky. But the good thing is they made my butt look really nice.
Yeah.
But but it's as much as I traveled, diapers wasn't a good idea.
No, you're not.
And
You didn't want to stick with it when you no longer needed them.
Yeah, well, it depends on where I was going. And but my doctor, Dr. Bobby Rad, out here in Orange County, California,
Shout
awesome
out
doctor, lives up to his name. Dr. Rad is rad.
Dr.
Um,
Rad.
he kept suggesting, like, for a better quality of life, like, I suggest you get an ostomy, and I fought it, and I was like, am I not broken enough? And now I need to be a human piggy bank, walking around with a hole in my belly, and that is the one thing that I still have issues with. I still have body dysmorphia, and
Yeah,
um,
sure.
there are times when I'm not comfortable. For anybody who has an ostomy, there are times when it just has a mind of its own, and there's nothing you can do to control it. And but
For the
Tommy, his name is Tommy.
and for those who don't know, right, when we talk, we have a lot of ostomates that we talk to. These are people living with an ostomy, which is essentially just a rerouting of your waste system. So, like an ileostomy would be the end of your small intestines. That's where your bag comes out of your body, and then for a colostomy at the some is it? I'm not exactly sure. There can be different locations for the colon for the
Right.
colostomy, right?
For the
Colostomy.
colostomy bag and ileostomy bag. So either you're pooping or peeing in a bag.
Yeah.
And the worst thing about having those bags is that it's so hard to find shoes that match it. So it just sucks to go shopping for them.
I bet you do all right. But yeah, we have this amazing group of many guys who go through cancer have to have this operation, especially with colorectal and anal, and they have to living with a bag. And these guys, they write the book on how to, I think the assumption that they face is like this is going to just crush their whole lives. They're never going to be able to adjust. They're just going to go into the hole and dig a hole and go in there and just, hide out. But these guys are living out loud. They are athletes. They are living their best lives with the bags. They're inspiring, this next generation to take away that stigma from this. And every year at GOW, we have a big group photo of our ostomates, and I always get goosebumps even just talking about it because that has taken back the narrative. So it's really cool that you're part of
You
that
know,
group as well.
it's really that photo that we take annually is really what's made me more comfortable with my body. Seeing everybody just take off
Awesome.
their shirts. We're the only group, which I mean I don't know what it is. We're the only group that takes off their shirts to take the picture. So all you perverts, I'm just saying,
Oh, we're all
like
watching.
I used to be like, stop looking at me like I'm a piece of meat. But now I'd rather enjoy having a bunch of men look at my body. Just saying. But really,
Oh,
on a serious side, it's that group of guys that's made me really not a whole that's made me more comfortable with my body and enjoy my body again.
I love that. Yeah, I absolutely love that. Um, let's switch to humor a little bit. So,
Okay.
um, is humor something that you developed early on in your life to cope with challenges? Like,
Yes.
is this a lifelong thing for you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
When's the
bullied.
first time? Yeah. When's the first time you remember, like, oh, wow, this is like a superpower that can get me through?
I must have been like 8 or 9 years old when I started getting bullied. I've been gay all my life. I was a little kid. I'm only 5'6" right now, and I haven't grown much since I was 13. And as a little kid, I was different, and I knew I was different, and I was called the names in English and Spanish, and being bullied and
Yeah.
harassed and molested. I was molested also as a kid,
Mm.
and you start to develop that tough skin.
Yep.
And when you hide your feelings and emotions, what's left on the outside is the laughter and the fun, because you're hiding all your other emotions inside that shell. So I don't know if this happens to other people who have been bullied and harassed, but all you have on the outside is the fun. I don't know if this makes sense. The fun on the outside
Yeah.
doesn't always connect with the feelings on the inside.
Yeah. I mean,
And
for those of us who grew up in the 80s and 90s, like, I just think Chris Farley, right? Like the fun on the outside and just the demons on the inside.
yeah. It's the old clown. There's a sadness behind the
Right,
makeup.
right, right.
And I just learned to be silly and make jokes. And I would remember commercials, or I would remember lines from TV shows. And then I was a performer. I started dancing when I was like 6 years old, all the way through high school, and making jokes. And then once I started drinking, I mean, I was just the life of
Oh,
the
you're
party.
yeah, right, right.
Which I then realized when I sobered up that I can still be an idiot and don't have to drink. So it's a lot cheaper now. And
Oh,
but it became a mechanism of defense, um, not just against the people on the outside of my house, also with people inside my home. Um, be funny to deter people from thinking about your sexuality. Be funny so people don't talk about your addictions. Be funny so people don't talk about HIV. It's always about being funny until actually after cancer is when I took a comedy class, Cool Beans Comedy here in LA.
yes.
I I took a and really the reason I took a comedy class was to be a better writer. I wanted to include the comedy in my speeches, but it was never the intention to be a stand-up comedy. I never That wasn't my idea. But then my very, and you can find these on YouTube. My very first joke was about going to my colorectal doctor, to Dr. Rad, and being probed, and how years later, I'm not allowed at kids' parties because latex balloons turn me on. So there's a story right there. There's a joke right there. And now, what it's how you use it. What used to be comedy used to be a mechanism for defense. Now I use it to bring some kind of joy to people.
That's a really
Because
interesting. Yeah, that is such an interesting pivot. It's like you, oh man, you can get lost in that mask and just keep all the tougher emotions in. But to find that balance in yourself, right? You have to have places for those tougher emotions to come out and realize, and also not just use comedy as, that mask, but something where it's positive for you and the people that you engage with.
yeah, and one of the cool things is that I mostly do comedy at conferences, health conferences. So my line is I make fun of sick people, and it's their fault for being sick. But um, one of the cool things about doing comedy in health conferences is that the audience understands the what I'm talking about, and I can turn my crappy moments into a joke, and you understand the joke. You know where it's coming from.
Oh yeah.
I don't have to explain to you what cancer is. I don't have to explain what an ostomy. Like, I can just make the joke, and the audience understands it. So I am finding a use for my pain. I'm finding a use for my the valleys in my life, and I'm finding I find the comedy in it, and you as the audience in this setting can get
Yeah.
it, because I can go to a bar in Hollywood and do my 4 stages of cancer set. People wouldn't get it. They think
Yeah.
I was
Well,
evil.
yeah, exactly. It's a great point. Some of the, I
And
mean, some of that, most of that material, it's not really transferable to a non-cancer audience.
he says after it's they would think I'm evil. They would think I'm the most hateful person in the world. But
Right, right.
I think that, the universe puts you where you belong if you just trust. And I had trust. I trusted God in the universe to put me exactly where I belong. And now I'm kind of making a name for myself in the health conference
Oh,
uh,
absolutely.
community. So
Yeah. And
that's my niche.
so I guess looking back, like, absolutely. And there's no doubt about it. And I'm telling you, like, I mean, he's humble, right? When you talk to him, he's self-effacing. That's, one of his go-tos, but he is talented, guys. Check out his comedy. We'll put his links in the show notes. Um, he's the real deal. He's not just some guy coming up with cancer jokes and like, I mean, and I think the difference is, again, it's that shared experience, but like, I mean, you, you can feel you come away from a set with Daniel feeling relief and the shared experience and like just almost, yeah, it's almost like a sense of relief. Like, gosh, I'm so glad we can laugh together about this stuff that otherwise is just going to make you cry all the time. So definitely check him out. Um, Do you remember the first time with your own cancer experience? Or not the first time, but as you started to, once you got cancer, as you started to really realize that humor was part of your coping superpowers, and you realized that laughter could actually shift your own experience. Like, do you remember those days with your cancer? And did it take a while, or was that right off the bat? Like you were using that skill?
No, I can tell you exactly when. So I get the diagnosis, and my first joke was, well, this is gonna be a pain in the ass, and and then I was like, well, this is gonna give me all, like there should be a book of butt puns that you can just like spit out.
I think you've got a book to
But
write.
I'm gonna sit on my ass and write about this. But the moment that not just me, but Christian was with me, the moment that we discovered that you there was a we had to find the funny. It was the first day of chemo. We walked in, and for anybody who's ever been to a chemo clinic, they all look the same. They have
Oh
the
yeah,
same
oh yeah.
nasty brown couches, the tan walls, and they all smell like chemical. Like they're horrible places.
Like the sailboat paintings and
God, it's just depressing. If you're not depressed, you walk in there depressed. You want to tie that you want to tie the cord around your neck when you're in there. Okay, so we walk in and there's a gentleman by himself. I remember, and there was this older couple, and of course, Kristen and I sit down and we start making butt jokes, and we're laughing. And the nurse that came over to us said, "I'm so glad you guys are laughing." He's like, "The couples that walk in here laughing make it through and survive the relationship at the end."
I
He's
love
like,
that.
but if you don't start this relationship, if you don't start this journey on a high and laughing, it's going to be very tough to get to the end. And we took that to heart, and we made sure to find the laughter in any moment we could, even in the toughest moments where, like, there was one. I'll give you the short version. There was one night after my I had a fistula in my butt, so I basically had two holes, which is a gay man. You'd think I'd be happy about that, but it was not a
Lottery.
happy moment. I was like double the charge. And but every time I had to go to the bathroom, Christian had to clean the fistula, and it was a very painful process.
Oh,
And this particular day, I had to change my diaper like 7 times that day. And by that midnight, Christian was like, "Hey, babe, before you go to bed, you need to jump in the shower." And I was done. I was done. And I was like, put a pillow over me, just end it all.
yep.
I don't want to be here anymore. I was done. Like, I'm going to leave a note. I'll tell the cops that I told you to kill me. Like, just, and Christian was like,
And
"Babe, take a pen pill, go to bed."
yeah, but like you're serious.
I was serious. I was like,
Yeah.
he lives across the street from the cops. And I'm like, "Call them right now. Tell them that I told you to kill me. I don't want to be here anymore." And he was like, "Take a pin pill, shut up, and go to bed." And now I laugh about it. Him and I laugh about how ridiculous I sounded. Like, it was, as an actor, it was a perfect moment to have captured that on video, which we didn't. But that would have been my Meryl Streep
Yeah,
moment. But we laugh about it now. And but that day, that nurse, I wish I could find her. I wish I could remember her name. But that nurse was the one that told us, if you can laugh through this, you'll be okay. And we did. And here we are, 13 years together, and we still laugh.
Yeah, I mean, some of the notes that I'm just jotting down as I'm talking to you and thinking is like, I think we all as patients kind of find our own ways to reclaim dignity and also to have control over our own narrative, right? Like this is our narrative and just getting that dignity
Yeah.
back. I mean, it seems like that was a real key tool for you.
It's okay. So on the more serious side, the moment we hear cancer, that becomes a badge. And you can either carry it as a badge of honor or disgrace. It's up to you. Second, if it's something that's going to disable you for a while, because I was on disability after my AIDS cancer, my AIDS diagnosis.
Yep.
Disability also, it's a badge on your forehead that you it depends on what you do with it.
Oh,
And
I feel that.
I decided when I was on disability that I was not going to be useless. I was going to continue to educate myself, be of service, travel to conferences, learn as much as I could. And cancer was the same thing. I'm like, I need to learn about anal cancer because before my diagnosis, I didn't know about anal cancer. I didn't know it existed.
You mean you weren't just
And
sitting around like every day thinking, you know what? I could get anal cancer and, it
you
wasn't like
know,
front and center for you.
yeah, I mean, I sat on the couch and I'm like, what if I put a big ball off my butt? What if? And yes, there's a video out there somewhere probably. And
Sorry. I
I
threw
come
you
from
off there. My bad.
I come from a family that I was taught by my mom how to be resilient and how to be resourceful. And their
Nice.
generation was not about sit down and cry. And as a young boy, I was taught, you want something to cry about? I'll give you something to cry about. Plus, as a young gay boy, I had to do, I had to prove myself twice as much that I was man. And I was the double dare me kid.
Totally.
Double dare me. I will do it. Just to prove to you that even though you call me sissy, I will outman you. And as an adult, when cancer came up and he was like, I'm taking over, and I'm like, dare you? You will not take over my life. Like I'm gonna make something out of this.
Oh, I love
And
that.
I mean, and again, and there's thousands of us out there doing advocacy work. Just at Man Up to Cancer, just at the Together Wolves, there's a bunch of advocates there. But if you look at, I think if you look at all of us, the thing that connects us is the fact that we decided and made a commitment to ourselves that we were not going to crumble in the face of cancer. Now, let me just parentheses this. I know there are some folks out there whose cancer is just way too harsh. You're still going to treatment. There's not much that you can do. And you can still enjoy life. You can still prep for yourself. You can still educate yourself. You can still be a voice out there. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense.
100%. I love that. I love the and, right? Things aren't like exclusive. Right? There's room for
Yeah.
all of it.
Like I can still mourn the life. I can mourn the life that I had before cancer. And I can enjoy the life I have now.
Yeah, 100%. I'm gonna just take a quick break while I get my dog removed. Hold on. Someone come get Grace, please, and close the door. Hello. Someone, I need you to get Grace and close my door, please. Grace wants to podcast with me, so I'm just having her removed. She's a sweet girl though. Thank you. All right.
We have no room for grace in this conversation.
No, Grace, get out. Um, I think about some people like those soulless, ghouls who might say, who might be skeptical about humor. They think maybe humor through cancer means denial or that you're mocking or making light of a serious illness. And we know these people. And what do you ever get that? And
Yeah.
how do you like respond to that? If not, or just say like, hey, we have different sensibilities.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of comments on some videos where they're like, it's shame on you for making fun of people. I don't know that they know that I'm a cancer survivor and that
Right.
I'm basically making fun of myself. And then you're right. I do tend to like what is it? I make fun of myself a lot in my comedy.
Yes.
Um, I tell folks, yeah, okay, the inside of me wants to say, get a life. Like go
Yeah.
get a fucking life.
Right.
Um, but number one, I always tell them, like, I'm not doing this out of hate. Um, None of my humor does not come from a place of hate. It doesn't come from a place of anger. Let me just
Never.
say,
Yeah, no.
my comedy does not come from anger. It comes from exploring the other side of fear. It comes from exploring the other side of the diagnosis. Um, it comes from remembering who I was before and who I want to be in the future. Because we're never going to go back to normal. You know this. Once you get that diagnosis, who you were will never be the same. you have to start making.
Yeah, it's BC and AC, before cancer and after cancer, and
Yeah.
you never go back to before cancer in so many
And
ways, right? Yeah.
yeah, so when people make comments about or criticize me, I first I tell them who I am and what I do. Second, I educate them on what anal cancer is. And third, I invite them to really like to share. Like I always ask, is there somebody, did you have an experience with cancer either as a survivor or a caregiver? I will tell you this, 9 out of 10 times they have not. They've neither cared for, known anybody, or gone through cancer. They're just taking it from the social norms that we
Right,
should be
right.
kind to people with diagnoses. And I'm not kind. I'm very kind to
No,
people.
no. I mean, and look, I'm a stage 4 patient, right? And like, I can't explain to you, like, I haven't researched this. Like, I can't explain to you why your comedy, about us as we go through cancer and like making fun of us. And when I say us, I mean you included, right? I can't explain exactly why that gives us the feeling that it gives, but the feeling that it gives me is like I said before, it's relief. It's I find your humor hilarious. It is
Thank you.
hilarious. Like, and there's a feeling that you get when you can laugh about it that it just complements all the other stuff that we've talked about, right? Like, there's a special thing about being able to laugh going through this. And I don't know what that is, but it is real. And
Well,
and I thank you for doing it.
I knew, I knew because for everybody, if you go see the video, please go see the video on YouTube. I need more followers and more views. But
Yes.
as I go through the 4 stages, so I go to stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, I get to stage 4. And the moment I said stage 4 are those sitting in the corner judging everybody, I saw you jump up. I just remember you
Oh yeah, I
jumped
stood
up
up on
from your
yeah.
chair. And again, you have a very distinct laugh. So my level of like, okay, who am I impressing tonight? Was like if the leadership, I wanted the leadership to know that they made a good choice in asking me to do this. And but when I saw you
Standing.
jump and laugh, I was like, okay,
Yeah,
if
you're
I if and again, it was just that one line. Stage 4 people are judging everybody. One line, and everybody lost it.
I mean, it's and
So
the inside of this all is like we always preach around, that it doesn't matter your stage. We all face the same stuff, this and that, like that, which is true, right? I believe in that in a way, but like but you also see this like large percentage, and you look. I will admit it. I'm gonna confess to you. This is a confessional right now. Once in a while, you will look at someone who's maybe they're out there promoting themselves or making this big deal about their stage 2 journey and like all this stuff. Like like if there's someone who's trying to like go out and like make bucks off it or something like that and bragging about it, like I'll just be like. Oh man, must have been nice to almost have cancer, like you talked about. Like, so you're like, yeah, the stage 4 guys are in the corner just judging all the other stages, and I just lost it.
well, the beginning, you just mentioned, like I talk about stage 1. I'm like, those stage 1 guys that we hate. I'm like, because I said they get diagnosed on Monday, on Tuesday they get chemo, on Wednesday radiation. By the 4th day, they're back at work. On the 5th, on Friday, on Friday
Oh,
they're running a marathon, and on Saturday they're writing their book. I'm like, they only shop at Whole Foods and drink organic water. We can't stand those fuckers. And
dude, you're making my
I,
face hurt
I,
again.
and it was a quick one breath line. It was just
Oh,
quick, 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 quick. But the guys were, I mean, losing it. And
dying,
and
not
I
of
say
cancer, but of your comedy.
I say this humbly, it's like as a comedian, like you
Oh,
want like you want that feedback. I mean,
hell yeah,
it would be ridiculous for me to say, oh, I just do it. Screw you.
yeah.
I want you to laugh. I want you
I
to
would hope
blow.
so.
I want you to, and one of the most beautiful things we come back to Gao 25. One of the most beautiful things is to have some of those guys that are stage 4 come up to me that night and the next morning and quote
Yeah,
my
yeah.
lines. Come up to me and go, oh my God, I'm in the corner judging everybody. And I'm like, as an actor, I've been in the business now for 20 years. I just celebrated 20 years in entertainment on December
Awesome.
1st. And as an entertainer, to have people quote you is my dream to be on a big A-list movie and make tons of money, of course. But this has been one of the most successful things that I've done
Yeah.
is to stand in front of 150 guys dealing with cancer, making them laugh and coming back and quoting me. And I because we're talking, you and I are talking, I walked away, I came home from that trip going, Garza, you you fucking did something good.
Hell yeah.
Like you yes, is it self-serving? Of course it's self-serving. Any entertainer does it for the, but to be able to take the what I've learned, to take my craft and make somebody laugh,
Oh,
man, that's
I use the word communion, like, and I'm not a orthodox religious person. I'm saying communion in the way of, yes, you're getting something out of it as the entertainer. We are getting something out of it as the audience. And in the middle there is a real communion. It is a shared experience that all of us who were there are never going to forget. And those who see your shows, right? So like it's an offering. And it's an offering that is generous. And that, you know, it's generous. It gives us that laughter and that shared experience with you that we wouldn't have if you didn't have the balls to get up and
well,
do it.
but you know, it's also, and this is not a plug, folks. He didn't pay me for this yet, but it's a testament to Gao. It's a testament to what that
Yeah.
feels like. Because okay, for those of you wondering, I'll go back a little bit. Last year, my paper that what I wrote was that I wanted to feel like I was enough. I tend to feel like I'm either too Mexican,
Mm.
too gay, I'm not manly enough, I'm not interesting enough. I always feel like I'm either not enough or too much, and I need to like. So my goal last year was to leave behind the fear that I'm good enough. So when I was asked to do this year, I was like, it took some convincing. Christian had to talk to me too, and he's like, the reason they're inviting you to do this is because you're enough. They know that you're enough to do this.
Yes.
And so a testament to the gathering of wolves and the brotherhood that is formed. I used to be very anti. I was like, this freaking cult, like
Yeah.
man, brotherhoods,
Yeah.
like
Like,
shut up, like whatever.
these guys, first of all, are
Like
so
the
white.
only
It's
reason we
like,
can be brothers, my God, like they're not cooked enough. They need some more brown.
yeah, tell us about
But
that
I
real
do.
quick.
There are
You got to meander to when you first came in, and like our group is diversifying, but it was pretty much like when you came in 24, bunch of white dudes in the woods, many of whom with like beards and tattoos, and like you've made some great jokes about this.
yeah. Let me see. How will I connect to these straight white dudes in the middle of the woods? Like, there's only one way that this is going to end. And they're going to be looking for me for like 2 weeks before they find me in some shed surrounded like with a hot sauce bottle in my mouth or some shit. But, and it's true. But
Oh,
that was part of the fear. That was
yeah.
part of the fear that I grew up with.
Oh
That
yeah.
I started my career in business and I worked in corporate, and corporate was white straight dudes most of the time. So I know how to speak white, just for the people out there. I know how to speak
Oh yeah.
white.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And but I was very afraid of having, I was afraid of being ridiculed. I was afraid of being bullied. I was afraid of being pushed around or not not taken into consideration, not being noticed. And so last year I was on that mode. I was like, nobody like, it took a little bit to find another gay person in the group.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, mind you, we were all dressed in rainbow, so I don't know how we couldn't find each other.
True.
And but then this year was different. I wasn't a newbie anymore. I was part of a pack, and I'd made friends, and I knew I was enough. And that not only speaks to my Latino, my heritage. It's not just about my sexual identity. It's also about my cancer. I just feel like I was enough and everything. Like, and I make fun of it too. Like, oh, I was stage two. Like, my story is just as valid as everybody else's, and I can honor that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're bringing in some boxes that in a crowd that would be like the stereo. Sometimes you look at our crowd, sometimes you think, oh, these guys are going to be assholes. And you have to build up that trust. But you're coming in like AIDS, HIV, anal cancer, gay, Mexican, like like it's not like one thing, you know, you're bringing in the whole checklist. And I just want to say to the guys listening in the Man Up to Cancer community, seeing right Daniel where he is right now and has built that trust with us and like don't ever lose that, you guys. This is who we are. Like when he says all these things about who he is, we say, "Give me a hug. I love you." And it's real.
Yeah.
And I'm proud of the guys for building that culture and preserving it and protecting it because guess what? Look around the internet, folks. Look around social media. This is an era of a lot of anger, a lot of hate. And I know probably it's the eras are always like this. And my point is, this is something worthy of being protected and promoted and grown. So when you hear a guy, you know, straight guy like me, you know, typical middle-aged white dude from Maine talking to this guy who like if you would look at us and think, well, what do these guys
Go ahead
have
and
in
say it.
common? Right? And we have so much in common. I love this man. And I'm not ashamed to say that. So keep it up because this is really cool stuff. All right, we do have to we got to start wrapping up because I want to put you in
Oh,
the gauntlet of random questions is coming your
good
way.
here.
I have three diabolical questions for you. So, but you had sent me some I'd asked you to send me some bullet points for areas you wanted to make sure we discuss. And I found your list very interesting. So let's just do short takes. I'll name the bullets and tell us
Okay.
try to do like a brief response about why it matters to you. The first one is sitting in
Okay.
your feelings.
Yeah. I have to honor them. There are days when I'm pissed and fuck everybody. And there are days when I'm in a really good mood and I enjoy my life. And I have to be able, I'm not a big fan of the word fine. Fine is just a cop out. If you really are asking me how I feel, I'm going to ask you. I have a check in list every Monday. I don't have you on it. I should put you on it. Every Monday, I have a check in. I have like 100 people from across the country that I check in, and the
Wow.
little pictures that I send says, "How's it going?" I don't ask you how you're doing, what's going on. How's it going? Um, and I have a conversation with almost 100 people every Monday on how they're doing. And so, but I want to know. I need to be realistic with because if I'm not doing well and I don't tell you how I'm feeling, then it's on me that I don't get the help that I need.
And then you said the word already. Number two is being realistic. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, I learned that when I was going through radiation. Like people would check in, like, how's it going? Oh, it sucks. Today radiation was horrible. I just threw up. I can't eat anything. I lost my hair. Like, these were real moments that even as a dude, to lose your hair was kind of tragic. To go from 160 pounds to 123 pounds, I felt like I was dying. And so it was very important to have the right friends. I think most of us do. I lost a lot of friends through my journey.
Yep.
And and when they decided to come back when I was better, I was like, no, I don't want you back as a friend. Like, thank you, but I got some new friends already. And keeping it
Good for
real.
you. Yeah. Yeah.
There were a couple of things that people were not allowed to do around me when I was going through cancer. One is do not say you're sorry. Fuck you. Unless you put the cancer in my ass, don't stop saying you're sorry. This has nothing to do with you. Um, Number two, what do I need? I had a checklist on Amazon. Go check the checklist. Send me whatever you want. And then the third thing is if you cannot call or come by and visit when I was going through it, we're not friends anymore. Like, and I cut out some people out of my life,
Yeah.
and I kept them, and they know
Oh,
why. They if
yes. All right, number three. I mean, we've covered this, I think, but don't forget to laugh is your three.
Yeah, find the moments. It's okay, and this is your moment. This is your moment. If you don't set the base or the standard for how you're going to do it, people around you will make up their own stories about you.
Ooh,
And
I love that.
And that's really harsh. People knew around me that I wanted meditation, I wanted positive energy, and I wanted to laugh. In the midst, and right in the middle of my treatment, my sister from Texas and her family came to visit. I threw a dinner party. That just tells you, okay. Plus, I'm so gay, I had to throw a dinner party. But I threw a dinner party, and we made jokes and we laughed. And at first, they didn't know how to take it. But then Christian was like, if he's laughing, it was like the mob. When Daniel laughs, you laugh. And
Yeah.
but I set the tone. So now folks around me know you can approach Garza and make a joke about cancer. You can approach him with your worst joke and he'll laugh about it.
Yeah.
You can have a conversation like we are now.
Yeah.
But I had to set the tone for how I wanted my treatment to go. And then from that grew this tree of who I am now in cancer advocacy.
Number 4, be comfortable with yourself.
Oh my God, yes. And that's still a work in process. There are times when I can't see myself naked. And there are times when I'm like, ooh, Papi, like, look at you. And and I think that has to do also with treatment. Chemo radiation, particularly in your junk, anything below the belt will take away part of your manhood.
Yeah.
There's erection dysfunction, there's shrinkage, there's lack of sexual appetite. And as a Latino macho, I'm like, I want to be hot all the time. And I've learned to accept who I am today with all of my parts, enjoy touching myself, and I mean that in exactly
Hell
how it
yeah.
sounds. Explore my body and learn what it feels like now. And it's taken me 10 years. It's taken me 10 years to get really comfortable. And I'm going to say I'm about 75%. There's still about 25% that needs some work, if you know what I mean. And especially when you're in a relationship,
Oh
you
yeah.
you don't want your partner to feel like they're the cause of you feeling uncomfortable, but it's really just us trying to get through it.
100%.
But
Yeah.
and it's a mind, body, and spirit concept. I work on that alignment. Mentally, I know where I am. Spiritually, I know where I am. I'm just working on the physical part.
And folks, for us guys, the only time we want to hear the word shrinkage when it comes to cancer is when our doctor says our tumors are getting smaller. All
But
right.
let me tell you, it's not the size of the boat. It's how big the waves get.
That's a whole different episode, Daniel. All right. Number 5, last one is before we get to the gauntlet is taking it to the stage, which is what you have done. You've taken it all the way to
Yeah.
the stage. Guys and folks out there, if you're hearing this and you know of somewhere where this guy should be booked, like help him get booked because we
Thank
want him to
you.
be everywhere.
Thank you. The stage can be anywhere. The stage can be your living room, talking to your family and friends. It could be on a stage like me, talking at a national conference, and everything in between. Um, Talk about it. It could be the stage. Your stage could be therapy. Talk about what you've been through. Walk through it. And this last part engulfs everything else that we've been talking about. Talk about it. Find a therapist that's going to let you say, my penis is gone.
All the
What
things.
happened to it?
Yeah, yeah.
I feel depressed. I feel like I want to run. Like I feel like I want to run away.
Mm,
The stage can be anywhere. And the stage is code for anywhere where you're able to express how you feel.
I love that.
I'm very blessed. And I say that I'm very blessed that I get to stand on stages and make people laugh. And that is my way, or I get to come on podcasts, or I get to do my own show, whatever the case may be.
Yes.
But for you that's listening to this and you're like, I'm not brave enough to make fun of my situation, then don't. But what is your stage? Is it your partner? Is it your therapist? Is it calling one of us
Mm-hmm.
and sharing?
Yep.
What's your stage? Find it, own it, and explore your feelings.
Damn, dude. We have a lot more to cover with you. And plus, we focused on the humor today, but Daniel's got the spiritual side, the healing side, the Reiki Master, the energy work, all that stuff. Like, So hopefully sometime in the future, we'll be able to get him back on and maybe focus on one of those things. But today has been amazing. However, it is time to put you in the gauntlet of random
Okay.
questions. Are you ready?
I give it to me, Daddy.
We're still talking about the questions, right? Okay.
Yes, of
Um,
course. Sure.
Daniel Garza, you must choose one grocery store item to defend yourself in a surprise ambush. What do you grab off the shelf and how do you use it?
Uh, the hottest salsa, and I throw it in your eyes.
Blinded by hot salsa, like the ghost pepper.
You know, you know.
I like it. All right.
And
All right.
I promise I've never actually done that before.
If necessary, he is ready to blind you with salsa. I like that answer. Number two, what single food, if you had to eat it every day forever, would absolutely break your spirit?
If I had to eat it every
You
day,
had to
it
eat it
would
every
break my
day and it's
spirit.
going to just break your spirit because you hate it so much.
Liver.
Someone else's or just in general?
I can neither confirm nor deny that I've. No, shh, stop.
Wow, that took a really dark turn there towards the end. All right. I'm going to put mine out there just for funsies. My wife was eating green olives just out of this big green olive jar.
Ooh.
There is something about green olives for me that just gives me the heebie-jeebies. So I'm going to go with green olives.
I've got to send her my spicy olives recipe so she
Yeah,
can make
she
that
might
next
like
time.
that. All right, last one. At the Comedy Club of the Afterlife, Daniel Garza is about to hit the stage. Who do you want in the crowd? And you're going to completely break them into uncontrollable laughter.
Who do I want in the crowd? Um. Oh shit.
It's all right. Take your time. This could be, we're thinking someone historical, someone that is has a place in your heart, like as a historical figure, someone really larger than life that you want to make laugh.
You know, I'm gonna go with this one because it was the very, very first biography that I ever read as a kid, and
Ooh,
it's what created this imagination in my head and got me through a lot of tough points. Um, Walt Disney. Well, I
Walt
read
Disney.
Walt Disney's.
Yes.
Yeah, I read Walt Disney's biography when I was like in the third grade. It was a children's version, and it inspired me when he was like he created Mortimer the Mouse, and then from there came Mickey Mouse, and it was the first time that I read about somebody taking a negative moment or what could have been a negative moment and turned it into something as big as and then
It's perfect.
years later I did background in Saving Mr. Banks,
Oh,
which
yeah.
was shot here in Disneyland. I was part of the background, so I got to see Tom Hanks as Walt Disney because I was standing right across from him when we were shooting,
How cool is
and
that?
I thought, what am like I didn't get to meet the real person, but I get to meet a Walt Disney version, and um, I knew life was good. Like I knew life was good.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? I mean, that is someone who's brought joy to countless people, and here you're doing your own version of that. That's a really I love that answer. We're gonna leave it at that. I will say this about Daniel: you, my friend, you are generous, you are kind, you're insightful, inspiring, and you are freaking hilarious. So,
Oh,
folks, check out Daniel Garza. Check out the show notes. We're gonna have all kinds of links in there for you, and how to reach out to Daniel if you're interested in booking him for a show. But yeah, just so thankful that our lives have crossed in this way, and that I've been able to develop a friendship with you. And I have so much love and respect for you. Thanks for being on the show today.
thank you for the opportunity, and everybody. We'll see you next time.